I'm excited because we're going to talk a lot about things that are happening at the library, one of my favorite places in the city. And also, of course, start with Mayor Scott Galvin and catch up on some other things as well. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, Samantha, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
I know that it's really hot right now, and it's hard to think about being outside, but we have a really fun Mayor's Field Day coming up. Tell us about what people should expect.
So Friday's good. It's we've been doing this for ever since I've been mayor anyway, where it's just a nice way to tell the parents we appreciate having their kids and them sending their kids down to recreation, and they pay for the program, so it's nice to give a little back. So we have worked with the Lions Club who are great in the community. They'll be cooking the burgers, and we'll be giving away burgers, dogs, and in waters to all the kids and parents who come down. So it's a nice day, and there's games and small the dunk tanks and stuff like that. So it's a nice morning / afternoon for the kids and parents to come down.
I love it. Are you in the dunk tank, Scott? Do we get to throw a ball and get you in the water?
No, I haven't done the dunk tank. I've been asked a couple times, but you never know what the motives are. So I always avoid that.
That is it. I think I don't have great aim, so I don't know that I would be good no matter who was in the dunk tank. But that's super fun. Do we know who's going to be in it? Can we share that, or is that a surprise?
Usually I think there's a dunk tank. There always is one. I'll have to confirm with Rory. I didn't order the. Rory's great. She orders all the her and Brian and their staff. They order the the different games, and they change them up a little bit, and they have a like a jump one of the jump ins and stuff, and there's basketball hoop shoots and the axe throwing, which is for the kids. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they are having the dunk tank, but I'll confirm. And it's usually one of the park instructors who's more vocal. A couple of them that kids like.
They get out there and they yell at you, so they get.
Yeah,
dunked,
the kids.
right?
They usually
I love
a little
it.
banter. One of the there's always some great park instructors, and some of the kids who show up always have a good time.
That's really fun. And I know Rory did post that I think it's called Creative Creatures is coming back, where they have some live exotic animals that they bring, and that's always really, really fun. So come down, avoid having to be in your hot kitchen and cooking dinner and enjoy all the activity. I know we talked about this last week, but it is a really important meeting. So I just wanted to reinforce that August 9th, we have the City Council Finance Committee meeting where you're going through the capital budget. You've been kind enough to answer all my questions about that and last
That'll
week.
be tomorrow at 6. So yeah, it's a good meeting to get out and go to.
Awesome. Love it. Since we've got all things library, I know that there were a couple of open positions on the trustees board. Where are you at in terms of interviewing people, nominating them? I know there's not an urgency to do it, but I just thought I would check in.
Yeah, I think we have two spots, and we've been going back and forth on what I'm going to do with those 2 spots. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a quorum, and more than a quorum, and I just want to straighten out 2 spots, and that should get us moving forward in spirit of the legislation. Like, it has 9 trustees, no more lifetime trustees, and the appointments are staggered. So 3 have a 1-year term, 3 will have a 2, and 3 will have a 3, and that's so that'll always be 3 will be turning over every year, which is good. So we're getting to that point.
Good. Well, it's good to have new ideas and things generated, and we'll talk to Hermayne in a minute. There's lots of awesome stuff happening at the library, and Emily is here as well. And we'll talk about a specific program that's happening at the library that she's involved with. So really, really excited about that. Anything else, Scott, that you'd like to go over? No,
I think that's it. We're kind of in the dog days of summer. The council is finishing up, the summer where they have one meeting a month, which there's still a lot going on, but it's been historically 1 meeting a month. So we've got the meeting that we're having for to allow for recreational marijuana, that ordinance, the zoning change, that's in committee as well, and it's scheduled to go back on the 16th. There won't be. It will not be voted on the 16th. The plan is it'll be voted on the second meeting in September. And we know they're not having the September 2nd meeting because of the primary. So the meeting, the only meeting in September is when we'll have the public hearing on the change of the zoning to allow recreation in the IP2. So that's another note. Maybe we'll want to talk about that in beginning one of the weeks in September leading up to that meeting, so we can remind people about it.
I think that's a great idea. And I think that's really important. And I know you've been working hard to get the teacher contracts done. Any updates there? I think last we spoke, the negotiations were happening.
We're meeting tomorrow at 3 to try to, continue an open dialogue and try to get things done. So we'll continue working and see how we go.
Good. Well, I know we're all counting down the days to, well, I shouldn't say all. I'm sure there are many parents counting down the days so they can send their children back to school. We've hit that point in the summer where summer vacation is no longer fun. It's hot and tired and we ran out of things to do.
It's amazing how fast this summer's gone by, before you know it, it'll be Labor Day and
crazy.
And it's really real.
Yeah, I had a reminder pop up my calendar to order to have my boat taken out, which I don't have done until the beginning of October, but boy, is that like depressing that most of the summer is gone at this point, so.
Well, yeah, so I will not be on next Monday. That is my true vacation. I'll be away, so I'll be back the following week.
Good, well, enjoy it, and thanks you for joining us as always. I'm gonna invite Emily Lipsett to join us. Welcome, Emily.
Hello.
So I know that you are working on a really important program called, I think it's Be Smart, if I get it correctly. My mom will be very mad at me if I get it wrong, Emily. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, you got it exactly right. I have been working with your mother, who is an amazing organizer, and she is helping to put together a program about this program called Be Smart that will be held at the Woburn Public Library next week. That's Wednesday, August 17th at 7 p.m. in the evening. It's scheduled to go for about an hour and a half. So Be Smart is an acronym, actually. The SMART is an acronym for this framework or program that really focuses on gun safety. This has obviously been a really big issue in the news, and we have all seen terrible, awful, tragic stories. And I think, a lot of people feel like, what can I do? How can we possibly address this situation in our community? And Be Smart is really just an educational framework. It's a program that teaches some pretty basic general ideas, but really like important, useful information about gun safety, and just something that can really benefit our whole community in terms of health and wellness.
That's great. And for those who aren't familiar with the framework, I know that it is part of the program is around safe storage and other things that are there. So this particular program is not about should we have guns or no guns. This is about how do we protect each other in an environment where they do exist, and making sure everybody feels comfortable having the conversations they need to have and doing all the things that keep it safe, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. The S is for secure all guns. And this is absolutely a program for gun owners and for those who don't really know anything about firearms or aren't really, comfortable with them. It's just about how do we have these conversations? It's about being aware of what the storage and security laws are. So the program will include, some volunteers who will talk a little bit, more generally about the issue. They'll take you through the framework. It will include a presentation from law enforcement that will talk about, what the laws and rules are, and just, important safety tips to know. For me, I'm coming at this as a parent of young children. I heard about this program and I thought like, oh, that really makes sense. Like if I send my kids on a play date, we kind of are aware now. It's pretty common to ask, does anyone have any food allergies? Or, should I know anything in particular about your kids? But I didn't really think about how do I ask, do you have any guns in your home? Are they stored safely? Or, is this information that I should be sharing with other parents who might be concerned about sending their children to play at my house? So I think it's really important just to sort of like get us more comfortable to talk about these things where, sometimes people feel awkward, but it's really helpful to everyone's, health and safety. So I would say this program is definitely for parents. If you are a parent of children, or if you are a teacher or an educator, like, I think for sure this would appeal to you. You could see the relevance, but it's not just for parents, right? I think this is valuable information for anyone in the community, right? To understand what the laws and the rules are, to think about kind of normalizing this conversation, and just how can we keep our community as safe and healthy as possible. Sadly, there is a very real connection between the presence of guns and the rate of suicides. And, that is a real danger of gun violence. And if, we can do just a little bit more to help those who are struggling or hurting or dealing with issues of mental illness, and like help prevent them from that access, that's a way that we can save lives in our community. If we can help, avoid accidents from happening. And that's something that benefits everyone.
It certainly does. And thank you for sharing a little bit about that. I want to ask you one more question about that, and then I want to ask you about something else that while I've got you here. So for the program is obviously geared around adult conversations, but is it appropriate to bring children? It feels, it's not clear to me, so I thought I would ask.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I would say teenage kids, absolutely, right? I would say even middle school, maybe, this is really the target audience in some ways, thinking about like, what do they need to be aware of to be safe and secure, and to avoid a potentially hazardous situation. I think younger kids, it's maybe not as appropriate. I think, we will talk a little bit about, some people who have been the victims of gun violence. So parents might not feel comfortable with their like really young children. But I definitely think like older kids and teens, I think could get something out of it.
Yeah. And older kids and teens go to places by themselves, right? They don't have parental supervision all the time. So they should certainly be comfortable asking questions and understanding the environments that they're in. We see accidents of things all unfortunately too often. So excellent. While I have you, I know it's not related to the Be Smart program, but there is a Woburn Welcomes Tanner Closet fundraiser. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, when that is, and what's happening there?
Yes, thank you so much for bringing that up as well. So it's a very busy week in Woburn next week. The Be Smart event is Wednesday, the 17th. That's being held at the Woburn Public Library. If you are interested in attending, there is a URL which you can RSVP on. You can also find the event. It will be posted on the library website calendar, and that can hopefully lead you to the RSVP. On Thursday, August 18th, in the afternoon from 4:30 to 7:30, Woburn Welcomes is hosting a collection for Tanner Closet. I know most of your viewers are probably familiar with the Tanner Closet. This was started by one of the assistant principals at the high school to kind of help provide some supplies and necessities for students who may be in need. And it has really grown in the last several years. And we at Woburn Welcomes have been happy to partner with them a couple of times to, do collection drives. It's going to be the end of August. We are heading into back to school. So it's a really good time to try to help support that program. So what they're really looking for is school supplies like notebooks, binders, pens, backpacks. non-perishable food and snacks, and or gift cards to like Market Basket or Family Dollar or Stop and Shop, some of the like local grocery stores. The Tanner Closet does often provide clothing, but they're really set on clothing donations right now. They're not looking for clothing. But school supplies, non-perishable food, gift cards to grocery stores, and toiletries are also items that they are looking for. So we're going to be doing a collection at the United Methodist Church. That's at 523 Main Street. And folks will be around from 4:30 to 7:30. So, if you're heading home from work and you want to stop by and maybe, donate a gift card, or even if you've got like $10 cash that you want to put to the fund for purchasing some gift cards to give to a student in need, that would be super helpful. If you're out doing your school shopping this week and you buy a couple extra notebooks, you could drop those off at the church and we'll see that they get to the Tanner Closet and will be given out to students who are in need.
I love that. And if they go and they drop those off, they also will get to check out the very cool butterfly garden that we talked about a few episodes ago from our Eagle Scout, who is right in the front of the church property, if I remember correctly.
It is, yeah, and it's looking nice. I was by there yesterday. Also, if you stop by, there are going to be some refreshments. I believe if you donate, your name gets entered into a raffle. So it'll be, you can like stop by and visit for a few minutes, or you can just drop something off and hit the road. But just, keep the Tanner Closet in mind as we're heading back to school.
Fantastic. Emily, thank you so much for sharing these two great opportunities to engage us with each other in the community. A great informational session that's happening, and then a great way to give back through the Tanner Closet donation drive, and just like get, I don't know if you guys can see, but I am like sweating. I do not have air conditioning in my office anywhere. So an evening at the library in the air conditioning sounds glorious to me right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Emily, so much. Hermayne, I'm so glad to welcome you to the show.
Hi, Samantha, and thanks for having me.
So we match. We have a little choral going on. I promise.
I know.
I was ahead, but
colors.
I love it. Hermayne, I have to tell you, I'm super impressed because I have seen an incredible uptake in adult programming and teen programming available at the library. We've had for some time great programming for children and continue to have that. I don't want to ignore that, but I've noticed a really big switch. I'm in fact signed up to do a laser cutting class. I'm super excited. I've never done that before. It's a friend project. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about some of the most popular new things that have been added.
Well, there's been a lot, as you said, because, we are listening and the staff is extremely creative. And so, just knowing that there was a need that they got to work. But one thing I want to shout out to is for the first time, we had an adult summer reading program. And there are prizes and, weekly drawings, and it's really been a big hit. And for the first time having it, we had 131 registrations for that program. And
that's
as well
impressive.
as
that's
very
amazing.
impressive. And people are very excited, especially the weekly drawings. They get called, they come in. It's very exciting. I've been a part of this in other libraries, so it's really fun to see it happening here, that the adults get participate too. So along with that, there's going to be like a book talk, book exchange. So there's actually one going on tonight where you could come and talk about a book that you really love, or get suggestions of books that, that if you're looking for new titles. But of course, there's the social aspect as well. And so Megan, the assistant director, is hosting that. And as you know, we've had a number of programs in the maker space, from adult coloring to laser programs to felting and great things for adults to plug into. And I really encourage people to check the website regularly, or even call the library, but everything is on our calendar, and we keep adding more things all the time. So we're really happy about that. We offered, I have it here, 38 programs for adults in July. So
It's amazing. And I really encourage people to check it out. There's something for everyone there. And definitely it does change all the time. So don't look at it once and think, oh, I know what's happening. Keep coming back and checking it out.
yeah, please do. Please do. Yeah.
Now, I know I'm always a little sad because Sundays is one of the days that I tend to be like hanging around in town and sometimes have free time. And I know the library, we are unable to open on Sunday. We just don't have staff to do that. And the staff is working really, really hard the other 6 days of the week. Is there any hope that next fiscal budget or maybe even further down the line, we might be able to staff up to support a 7-day? Or is that a pretty normal schedule for a library not to be open 7 days?
Well, I don't know that we've ever had it on Sundays, but it certainly is something on our radar because it's something we'd love to have. But, introducing something like that, it'll take some time, to work out all the details because the mayor and I, we've talked about it, that it would be nice to have it. But it's, to roll something out like that, it would take some planning. And as you mentioned, with staffing, how would we staff at the hours? But the good news is that we open 9 to 9 Monday through Thursday, and then we open 9 to 5:30 on Saturday. So we're actually opening the same amount of hours on a weekly basis as many other libraries that are similar to ours. And even, so we do have the hours in, but it is something that, we'd love to see happen here, but I can't really tell you, that'll be next fiscal year, for example. But it's definitely an aspiration because they are people who might, students might want to study or people who, who work all week and, only have Sundays off. So definitely something that more and more libraries are moving towards, providing in their communities. So.
Yeah, and thank you for that update. I suspected that was the case, but I always thought I'd ask anyways. One of the things that we do have available to Sunday and every day is there's actually a huge extensive digital resource library. That I know I personally way underutilized. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about those resources.
Yeah, that I should have mentioned that we are actually open 24/7 digitally. So yeah, we do have a number of digital resources. If you go to the Woburn Public Library website on the page and you click on the button that says e-library, you have digital resources A to Z. So many things that you might be interested in. People might know about like Ancestry and Hoopla and some of the other platforms they use, but there's so much more on there. We have lots of things available, a lot of them through our network where we collaborate, we all fund it together. And then there's some specific ones that we actually provide also for our community. So there is, there's a lot on there. Let me see. I mentioned Hoopla. We have Heritage Quest, for people interested in, genealogy, those kinds of things. We also have Ancestry. We have a lot of things for kids. We have Canopy for people who want to watch movies. So there is a lot. There's a lot. There
is. I was just sort of browsing things. It's a fantastic resource. So I encourage people to do that. We're getting ready to go back to school. I think a lot of families are anyways.
Yeah.
And the library is a tremendous resource during the school year as much as during the summer. Is a great place for research and other things. What are some of the things you want students, maybe older students, to know are available at the library for them?
So I checked with the teen librarian because, to find out what resources would you recommend. And there's lots of resources for teens. There's databases like Britannica Online. And then there's also test taking and homework so they could do it. I want to push tutor.com because that's really important for that age. There's so many things on there. And even for people learning, looking for classes in ESL, English as a second language. So there's a lot on there. And then there's also a drivingtest.org to help study for getting your driver's license. And so, so those are Peterson Test Prep is another one. So for the kids that are going to be taking their, SATs and ACTs and all those other T's, they can get.
I wish I had known about that because I had 3 children who took SATs and they would much rather have done that through the library than the terrible on-site little rooms that I sent them to. For summer weekend.
I know my children too. They went to classes, and one was telling me just recently how much he hated the class. And so something like this would, and you go at your own pace, so it would have been helpful.
That's
So
fantastic.
we
Good
definitely
reminder.
have that for teens. And then, you know, if you want to know for kids, same thing. There are a lot of e-resources, but you know, if they can also get in touch, I recommend also parents getting in touch with the children's librarian or the teen librarian if there's some specific need. You know, we can help students in elementary school if there's some kind of a project going on and they're, you know, all the students are, you know, working on the project. If they let the library know, the teachers can, the parents can, we'll make sure we have enough resources so that when they come in, they can have them. So that's something that we definitely could provide. And in addition to, you know, we have a number of things in the library of things like math games and things that they could use to reinforce concepts they're learning at school. So I'm telling you, there is so much in your local public library, and, you know, it takes a while to explore it, but I really want to encourage everybody out there to really, you know, this is like a gem in the community, and you really are missing out on a lot if you're not taking the time to plug into your public library. It's not what you might think it is. It's way more than you think is there. And we, you know, we're adding, you know, new resources all the time. So.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I think, you know, when I was young, right, libraries were all about books and they were amazing, but they were all about the books. And they certainly have wonderful resources and books available in our libraries, but there's a lot more that the library is and should be. And we're really fortunate to have an incredible staff who's super helpful and friendly, who really takes people's ideas and creates new programs from them. I've seen that happen quite a lot. And a bonus of an absolutely stunning building that is just, if nothing else, just going and sitting there makes you feel smarter, I think, just surrounded by all that stone and beautiful architecture. We're very blessed to be able to work in this building. I'm excited to come to work every single day because it's, you know, it's that kind of a place. Hermayne, I cannot let our conversation end without asking you about summer reading wrap up and all the things happening there. Tell us about it.
So summer reading, as I told you, we had an adult program this year, and we had an adult/teen program, and I told you about the attendance. So this Saturday, the 13th, is going to be our summer reading wrap up. There's going to be an author talk at 2:30. So it runs from 1 to 4, an author talk at 2:30. The author's name is Nandini Bajpai, and I hope I didn't mess up her name, but she is a young adult author, and she's going to be sharing her books. The theme this year was reading off the beaten path, and so she's going to be sharing, you know, about some of the writing that she has done. And then there's going to be a celebration time. There's going to be, we have raffle baskets to give out from the summer reading. We're going to be giving out prizes, and there's going to be food. We're even going to have cake. So it's just going to be celebratory. And then also the children's are having their program from 3 to 4. They have somebody coming in to do a wrap-up program for them. And then they're also going to be having refreshments there. So it's going to be an exciting Saturday, much like the kickoff when we had, you know, the local author fair. Now we're going to end with a specific author talking about her books, and we're going to have food again. So I want everybody to come on out to that. You don't have, if you didn't participate in the reading program, you can still come and participate in the author talk and the, you know, the celebration and whatever else, but just join us on Saturday. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. You said the magic words cake, and talking about cake and books is fabulous. Woburn, I know it's really hot out there. Check on your neighbors, anybody who's working outside. I saw someone post, I think Karen Manna, I'm sorry, I'm calling you out, I hope you don't mind, was delivering cold water to folks who are working outside. Let's beat the heat together. Lots of amazing things happening in our community to enjoy and have fun as we nearing towards the end of summer. It's not over yet. And as always, please continue to take good care of each other.